I'm willing to bet you've been called lazy at some point in your life. We all have, right? But what if that was actually a compliment in disguise? Today, we're going to dig into this fascinating idea that some of those so-called lazy habits are actually signs of a highly intelligent mind at work. I mean, think about it. The messy desk, the cluttered room, maybe that's your desk we're talking about right now. And we've all heard the judgment that comes with it, right? That quick assumption someone makes about your whole character just because of a little bit of clutter. But is lazy really the right word for it? Because what if that mess isn't a sign that you're failing at something? What if it's actually a feature of a highly efficient brain? A brain that's, just too busy solving bigger, more important problems to worry about whether everything is perfectly tidy. Now, that is the wild idea we're diving into. Okay, so first up, let's just tackle the word lazy head on. Let's unpack why our society is so obsessed with everything looking orderly all the time. From a young age, we're taught that these habits are just bad. A lack of discipline, low motivation, carelessness. They all get kind of lumped together and labeled as some deep character flaw. The message we get is crystal clear. A perfectly organized life equals a successful and virtuous life. But is that really true? Well, what if psychology tells a completely different and, frankly, a way more interesting story? Let's explore this surprising link between these supposedly lazy habits and high intelligence. This quote right here, it's the whole key. See, highly intelligent minds aren't just randomly disorganized. They're strategic. They get, either consciously or unconsciously, that mental energy is precious. I mean, think about people like Albert Einstein or Mark Twain. They were famously known for their super cluttered desks, yet nobody would dare call them anything but brilliant. They weren't wasting brain power on tidying up. They were saving it for the stuff that really mattered. All right, so let's unpack the secret of how this efficiency actually works. It all comes down to understanding your brain's energy budget, and more importantly, how it chooses to spend it. So the first big idea is something called cognitive efficiency. The easiest way to think about it is like your phone battery. You start the day with 100%, right? Well, every single decision, every task, every little worry, it all drains that battery. Cognitive efficiency is basically your brain's built-in power-saving mode. It automatically shuts down all the non-essential background apps to save that juice for what's actually important. And this leads us right into the next idea, selective organization. This is what cognitive efficiency looks like in the real world. It means, yeah, your desk might be a total mess, but the digital files for that huge project you're working on, they're perfectly structured. You might forget to take out the trash, but you would never, ever miss a deadline on a high-stakes assignment. You're selecting where to apply your organizational energy. And this right here, this is where the whole perspective just flips on its head. The common view sees that messy desk and immediately slaps on labels like disorganized and careless. But the cognitive view, it sees the exact same desk and understands it's a sign of a mind that is actively prioritizing its energy. It's focused and it's being strategically efficient. It's not chaos, it's a battle plan. So how does this actually work in your brain? Well, it's kind of like a simple but really powerful three-step mental process. First, your brain identifies the high-impact tasks, the ones that are really going to move the needle. Second, it just deprioritizes or even automates everything else. And third, it takes all that saved-up mental energy and allocates the full force of it to those critical tasks. All right, let's bring this all together. It's time to start rethinking your own energy, because this whole thing, it's not about being lazy, it's about being strategic. So I want you to really think about this for a second. Throughout your day, where does your mental energy actually go? Is it being spent on keeping up appearances, maintaining perfect external order, or is it being invested in solving complex problems and doing deep creative thinking? And here's the really important follow-up question. Is that energy being spent on what truly matters to you, on your big goals, your passions, your most important work, or is it just getting drained away by all these low-impact tasks that society tells you are important? So here's the bottom line. What people perceive as laziness might just be a sign of a highly efficient mind doing its thing. Remember, your mental energy is your most precious and definitely your most finite resource. And learning how to apply strategic focus is infinitely more valuable than achieving total superficial organization. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next time you look at your messy desk, or you catch yourself in a lazy habit of focusing intensely on one thing while letting other stuff slide, just ask yourself, is this really laziness? Or is it just my intelligence in disguise?